Hi everyone, y'all are watching the Canon Rebel SL2 real world review today. Thank you guys for tuning in. I took the Canon Rebel and made a video and a review of it about a week ago, and I decided to go ahead and take it out over the weekend and make a real world review. So I took it out into my local town, went downtown into a farmer's market and took some pictures and wanted to show them to you guys so you guys can see how good the quality is on the camera. And I also made a short video while I was out there so you guys will be able to hear the audio on the camera and see what the video quality is like. So here we go, let's get to it. Alright, so this is the first picture here. You can see it's just a bunch of flowers and some buckets. You can see some vegetables up here, and you can see the color and the detail that you see with this camera. I like how it goes from dark and light. It seems to do well on that, as you'll see later on. This is a group of people here. I'll full screen this one. It's a group of people, and around the vegetables in the market. You can see the Ferris wheel in the background. The sky was really clear that day, just a few clouds on the horizon, so you can see that. Now this camera, because of the size, it is very portable, which makes it an absolute dream to handle whenever you're shooting the photography. So it's real easy to get people and move it around real quickly whenever you're in a crowded area. I really liked how it handled. The only thing is I did have the 18 to 55mm lens on there, so sometimes whenever I tried to capture things off in a distance, it didn't work that well, but that was more of the lens, I think, than the camera, definitely. So I feel like if you had a bigger lens on there, it would be no problem at all there. So let's go ahead and go to the next picture here. Okay, so you can see once again we're in a tent, kind of a similar picture, just a different tent. The lady selling the vegetables here, so very good color. You can see the background and the trees, very, very vivid, very clear in the background. Let's go on ahead. Alright, so this is some of the landscape. I really like this picture actually, because you get to see, and one thing that jumps off the screen to me about this camera is just how crisp and how clear the image is really, you can see small details, you can see the fine details and how everything is crisp. These images are unedited, and they were shot in automatic, not manual. So I'm sure you could do a lot more if you would have shot in, or if I would have shot in manual mode. I'm sure probably going slightly better. The camera seems to get the ISO down pretty well, so the aperture and the shutter speed is probably what you'd want to adjust, not the ISO. But it's a really great image, like I said, unedited. So if you had some nice editing software, you could definitely go through and clean these up and really make them look nice. This is just the Fort Smith welcomes you sign. You can see the background. I like the focus here. It really makes the sign the focus, and then it kind of blurs out the building in the background. I like that. The sign in the sky here. You can see the blue background. The lighting, if I was editing it, I would probably go ahead and brighten this up a little bit around the sign if I could, and make that a little bit clearer, but it was a pretty good photo. This is a trolley. Now this trolley was actually moving, so it wasn't standing still. It's probably going about 5 miles an hour, so it wasn't too fast, but you can see it captured the image really nicely, no blur at all. So this is just a statue here. Once again, I really like the detail. If you look in the background here where our mouse is, you can see some leaves, and actually I think those are birds flying in the background. So that's pretty vivid, because those are, I think they're pretty good ways in the distance. So once again, I think on distance you would probably get better if you had the bigger lens. But you can see the statue is pretty close to me, and it was a very clear picture. So the 18 to 55mm lens is absolutely phenomenal if you use it for what I use it most of the time, which is YouTube and just making videos. But if you're doing photography, it's great for close range too. So next picture here. Alright, so this is one of my favorite pictures of the day, because you can see this Fort Smith sign here up close, but then you can see the building in the background is really clear and crisp. It's a really, really good image, I think. And then it kind of blew the trees over here to the right out of focus a little bit. They're still pretty good, but you can see the main part of the picture is the sign up here up front and this building. So I feel like the focus did a great job there. The American flag there captured it, and it was a little bit of a windy day, but it captured it very well. So alright, all the fruit in the background. I like this photo because I think you can see the different colors. You have the green here on the cucumbers, and then some brown and red, and you have black on the table and white on the table. So you can see all the contrasting colors there. It really did good. Plus it kind of blurred out the concrete over here in the background, so I like that. Just a few, I think those are green beans, I'm not for sure, but once again you get a few different colors here and it's very clear. Okay, so this was probably my favorite photo. It was just a parking meter that I took, went up too close with the 18 to 55 millimeter and zoomed in really close, and you can see the background, the road is blurred out, but the attention to detail, or the detail here on this parking meter, is very, very clear. It looks like you're looking at it, you know, as if you were right there. So it's a very, very good picture, very clear. I really like this picture. Okay, so this is one of my favorites as well. You can see you have the hotel in the background here, but then you have this, I'm going to call it like a water wheel. I don't know what the technical name is for it, but it's spinning in the background, and you can see the water coming off of it, and you can see the little droplets, and this is from a pretty good ways away. This is actually, I think this is my truck bed here on the bottom, and then you have the stop signs, or stop lights, and then across the road you have this. So once again, this is just with the 18 to 55 millimeter lens. I feel like if you had the bigger lens, you probably could have even done a better job with this than I did. So, American flag again here. This is a different one though. I like this photo. You have a few cars in the background here, and a couple of little, like a stoplight sign, and then the building here on the left, and then a post here in the middle. And then you have the flag in the center of the picture, and a couple of buildings. I like all the different levels of focus, and everything was really clear. So. Now this photo was kind of interesting. I actually took this from the inside of my truck. So this is actually like we're at a stoplight and it's through the window, and you can see how clear it is still. So I thought that was kind of cool. Another one there. I just took that at a different length. And then this is the video that I actually took while we were out there. I'll let you guys listen to that. Hey guys, what's up? I wanted to do a little video for you today on the real world review of the Canon Rebel SL2. And show you guys some of the video and photo capabilities of it. So please enjoy, guys, and if you want a detailed review of the specs and stuff, be sure and check out my Canon Rebel SL2 review, and please subscribe at the end of the video. Thanks, guys. Okay, so I think if you're going to be using this camera for YouTube or vlogging, I think you're definitely going to want to look into getting a Rode microphone. I thought that the audio on the camera was pretty good for a camera, which, you know, they're not made to have great audio, but actually for it being on a DSLR, I thought it was fairly good. Now I'm not saying the audio quality was good, but for what it is, and understanding that this camera is not made to capture audio, it wasn't bad for that camera. But you know, I would definitely look into getting a Rode microphone or something along those lines, whatever your choice is there. So now this is a feed mill, which actually gets a little bit more interesting as we go on, but it's a pretty good picture there. Okay, so this is like a mural or mirage, whatever you call it, basically a painting on the feed mill. They did about a year ago, I guess, and it's a man here. You can see it's a pretty cool deal, I think. You had the sky and the skylight, or light here and up top, and then you have the flag up here. You have the feed mill, very, very clear, crisp image. Once again, just a different angle here, same picture basically. And then here you can see you have three different people. This is pretty cool. Then you have the feed mill here off to the left, the OK feed mills. Then you have the three people, very clear. Once again, I think that you could do a better job with this if you had a better lens. I felt like this picture was pretty good though. So you can see the bird, I think that's again flying in the background. A little bit closer. I like doing that so I don't have to crop, just kind of going in and out with my zoom. Then I got further out, picture further out. Another one there, a little bit further out. You can see the truck inside here, and OK Foods and OK Foods. And I feel like these pictures are really good, especially for the lens that I have. Very, very clear. Once again, I haven't edited them at all, and they were shot in automatic mode. So taking that into consideration, you could do so much more with this camera if you had a great editing software, and you know you're an expert at shooting in manual mode. This camera would be absolutely phenomenal for you. This is the trees. Now this, one thing that I wanted to point out whenever I took this photo here is how you have the differences in the lighting. So you have the sun shining over here on this house and over here in the background, right? That's a little bit not quite clear how you can see, but you can see these trees here very, very clearly. It's darker contrasting lights. That's why I wanted to show it. And here I feel like the camera really did a good job because I'm actually standing in the shade, so there's no light at all where I'm standing really. No sunlight, no direct sunlight. But you can see out here, this is a national cemetery, so you can see out here in the grave area that the sunlight is shining very bright, but where I'm standing the shadows are pretty thick. But I felt like I did a good job, and the trees I think probably could have been a little bit clearer here in the background, but once again if you had a bigger lens I think that would have automatically happened. So guys, that's all I got. Be sure and check out my Canon Rebel review for the exact specifications of this. Thank you guys for watching. Overall, I think this is a great camera. If you're looking into YouTube, I think it's great. I think it'd be really good for photographers if you're looking for some portability, maybe a smaller camera to carry around. I think it'd be really good for that. If you're into photography, I definitely would look into getting a bigger lens though, in addition to the 18 to 55 millimeter. I think that you'll really be very happy with the results if you do. So thank you guys for watching and have a great day.